Hello, I'm Jeffrey Holmes, and this is my first video post. We'll be discussing the concept of entrepreneurship, and I will be discussing an entrepreneurial venture that is of interest to me, talking about the problems that they're solving, the obstacles they're facing, and why it interested me. So, entrepreneurship is the risk taking behavior that results in new opportunities. That's entrepreneurship. But an entrepreneur, Investopedia, gave a great definition. It's an individual who takes the risk to start their own business based on an idea or a product that they have created. They assume most of the risk, but they also take most of the reward of the business. That was a great definition that Investopedia gave. But according to the management book, it's someone who's willing to pursue opportunities in situations other people views as problems or threats. So the key component in entrepreneurship is someone who is willing to take risk to solve a problem that will ultimately start a business venture for them and lead to profit. So there's some characteristics that they mentioned in the book that entrepreneurs have. They have a locus of control. They have high energy level. They're very self-confident. They embrace the unknown. They have tolerance for ambiguity. They're self-starters, self-reliant. They have a very high need for achievement. They're flexible. They have a passion to act. They're willing to fail and admit errors. They have a passion, but they really, really want to be successful. So they have a very high desire to be successful. There's one quote from the book I wanted to share. When asked by a reporter what he liked most about entrepreneurship, an entrepreneur replied, being able to make decisions without having to go through layers of corporate hierarchy, just being a master of your own destiny. So these are what entrepreneurs, some of the characteristics of entrepreneurs. So in a book that I've read in a previous course called The Innovator's DNA, there is a distinction. There's something that they call innovative entrepreneurs. And they distinguish from other types of entrepreneurs. Like an entrepreneur can be someone who is a part of an organization, but innovative entrepreneurs are some of those that we think of, like the Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, people who seem to create disruptive innovations is what they would call them, something that came out of what seemingly nowhere, right? And there's something that they have as distinguished from top executives in companies. They have discovery skills for innovation. So it's associative thinking, observing, questioning, experimenting, and networking. These discovery skills as opposed to delivery skills that make them innovative. So we looked at a couple of innovations in the videos. A company called News Story partnered with another organization called Icon. And News Story is a housing charity. Icon is a high-tech company to help resolve the global housing problem. And so they have this ability to build homes using 3D printing. So they're able to build these homes in 24 hours and for less than $4,000. Now, at this point, the 3D printing builds the mortar, if you will, while, of course, people still have to come in and do things like plumbing and electricity, but they're able to build housing at low cost that quickly. That is an amazing thing, and I wonder if they could bring that on here to Los Angeles to solve our housing crisis. But they've partnered with Icon, and now they have another project where they're building a whole 3D printed village in Mexico, which is amazing. So when you think of other entrepreneurs, you think people like Jeff Bezos. These are of Amazon. Okay, he had this idea in '94, and he asked himself questions like, "What would people be willing to buy on the internet?" Instead of while the internet was fairly new in 1994, and he established Amazon, and you see where it is today. He went from selling books online to selling everything online. So entrepreneurs have that spirit, if you will, of asking questions of what could be. Mark Benioff, I think that's his name, Mark Benioff from Salesforce. He was on vacation swimming with dolphins one day, and he asked himself, why can't enterprise software be more like Amazon in how it's delivered? We don't want to have to install these software using CDs and all these other things. I want to use the power of the internet so to improve enterprise software. Okay, so he asked the question, why are we loading and upgrading software the way we've been doing it? Why isn't it like eBay? Okay, so anyway, I looked at an innovative company. I looked at an innovative company, and the one I chose was an organization called Suno. And it is amazing because it's basically a generative AI music creation platform that generates realistic songs. And you can combine vocals, instrumentation, and it was founded by a lifelong musician and aspiring technologist, Mikey Schulman, George Cusco, Martin Camacho, and Keenan Freiberg. And it has raised hundreds of millions of dollars. It was 125 million some years ago, so much more by now. And they had investors, venture capitalists invest in this company. And the problem that it solved is it basically makes making music easier. You don't have to be a musician or a singer. You don't have to have an ounce of musical ability. In this app, you can just say what you want. You literally prompt it like ChatGPT. Hey, give me a song about love in the summertime, add some piano to it, add guitar, drums, make it up tempo, whatever you want to say. You feed it and it spits out a song, and not just any song, a song that is very high quality, something that could go on the radio. I'm completely blown away by it. It creates songs in 2 minutes, quality songs. And the reason why it interests me is I'm a singer, songwriter myself, and I have a lot of songs stuck in my head, and I've used this app, and this thing is incredible. It's so incredible. Now, there's a few issues that this does have. Of course, there's copyright infringement issues. Record companies have already, I believe, filed a lawsuit asking how are they getting this information. They train their software using copyright protected material. So they are going to definitely have to hop through some legal matters. I believe they have been sued by the Recording Industry Association of America already. And so they have to jump through those hurdles. But it is an amazing concept. So that's my time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.